Hi everybody, thanks for checking out this video here on YouTube, the Games for Gamers channel. I'm your host Napalm Dawn, and as you can see by the title of the video, today we're going to talk about my favorite carries when it comes to the class-related simulators. Today's background music is brought to you by the Final Fantasy VIII soundtrack. When it comes to Final Fantasy music, I often think 4, 6, 7, 10, 13, and 13-2. They are some of the most memorable music, at least to me. So I thought I would show some love to some of the other soundtracks that I don't often pick. Of course, this is Balam Garden that we're starting off with. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Basically, what I'm discussing in this video today is who do I use as a carry when I run the simulators to level new people. Now, by a carry, I mean somebody who goes into the class simulator that does something really good to make the sim relatively easy. And this is either one of my high-powered characters of that class, but more specifically, it's somebody who helps bring the noob wagon through that particular sim, and it's usually somebody who provides a counter to the counter class that you run into later in the sim. Now, as a reminder, you really don't want to worry about the 13 and 14 sims too much until somebody new is around a level 11. All the other sims will carry you at that point. The Tier 3 sim is about 3,500 to 3,700 experience, and that will obviously top everybody up until around 10 or 11, I think, is when you start needing more. So there's no sense bringing a level 1 tactician to the Tier 3 sim. It's way overkill. So I'm going to go through who I like for all the classes as I run down a Tactician Sim. Now, as I do the Tactician Sim, my favorite carries are Captain Steve Rogers, Magneto, Rescue, Red Hulk, and Psylocke, with an honorable mention to Storm, Boomerang, Pym, and Constrictor. The reason why I have those guys listed, and by the way, I have never taken this sim. I will not ever take that sim unless I've had my Wheaties that day. I just do not want to fight good old Pterodon boy and lizard over there. So the reason why I talk about these carries is they're people that provide some kind of help to make the sim run good. Now, the best thing that you could do is bring something that shuts down the counter in the second round. So, like for here, Constrictor generalizes people. Captain Steve Rogers puts people off balance. Magneto gives you the shields to get extra turns. Red Hulk, of course, tanks. Psylocke just runs right through everybody and provides the very needed mental coordination. And honestly, for the honorable mentions, they're a little bit less. You've got Storm, who does the Shroud, Boomerang, who can do off balance, Pym, who can do off balance, and Constrictor, who can do Generalized. For the Blaster group, I like Invisible Woman if she has air pressure. Convert her to a blaster and bring her to the Blaster sim. Air pressure keeps those obnoxious debuffs off. Havoc, not because you can exhaust them, but due to the fact that Havoc has a good one-shot potential on somebody. And that is, of course, very necessary. I also like Carolina Dean, because Carolina Dean is just simply one of my favorite blasters, and her shields are really good. And if you are running her with other people who run energy, Carolina Dean can ramp up extremely quickly. And she's got excellent wave clear, and much like Havoc, she can also one-shot somebody. Good, we didn't get mines. Not getting mines is actually really nice. I also like Misty, because Misty can shield herself, and she can do a Generalize. She's somebody who is relatively new that's actually come up and pretty good in the carry category. I like Elsa because Elsa can become stealthy on all of her attacks if you have the magic equals stealth ISO. And I also like Amazing Spider Tits. She's pretty good too, simply because of the webbing. She would have been a better carry back in the day when her webbing, you know, her spray was a little bit more likely. But she still holds up pretty good now. For the honorable mentions, I would say it would be Fixer because he can class swap and he can go Infiltrator against those tacticians. Cannonball because he can reduce damage down to 0, and Vision because much like Fixer, he can always go ahead and swap. And that's, you know, Generalized is a big thing in these. It's really, really good to have that. So let's check Red Hulk's heat. He's at 60%, so let's just go ahead and keep that heat a little low. Now, for Red Hulk, I think Snappy Tactical is a good way to go for him, and honestly, the don't stun on the blow-up is probably the best way to go. I have him with Boom Shakalaka, but because you want to save the bomb for this round, it's probably best off if you go for the... Ooh, that's actually good. That's pretty good. Bringing in a reduced heat generation is a good way to go. Let's see if we get it. We got him. Nice. So we generalized Toad, which is a pretty necessary thing over here. So the first thing I'm going to do is check my heat. It's at 50. We'll go ahead and bulwark, and then we'll throw... Okay, I guess I was exhausted, or maybe I was toad-licked. I like this one a lot for the tactical sim because of the fact that it provides me a blaster in the final round, which is really nice. That's not, you don't see that too often in the sims where you get your positive class in the final rounds. It's definitely a good boost over there. So for the bruisers, I like Molly, simply due to her destructive power and her really, really good tanking. And the fact that, you know, the bruiser sim, at least you can put in the elite ISO for people. And because the bruiser class often has a lot of tanks, you can essentially set up a Red Hulk situation. So along with Molly, I like Heroic Age Iron Fist. Anti-Venom is pretty good for that one because of his D-power. Sandman, especially with his personal ISO and the elite ISO, is really good in any of the worthy. For the honorable mentions, I would give it to Wonder Man. Ares, if he has the disadvantage ISO for his quick action gunshot. And Heimdall, simply due to his potential to no-pan people and also give you those really, really, really big buffs. For Scrappers, again, you can do Heroic Age Iron Fist. Omega Sentinel is really good in the Scrapper sim because she can get out of Scrapper. She can heal, she can tank, she puts out a lot of good buffs and everything. Avalanche is very good because of the Generalized. Karn and Chase are also very good because they have disadvantage, which turns off the bruisers. Honorable mention goes to Union Jack due to all the counters, the setup for the flanked and everything like that. And Sweats Devil, again, due to the counters. If you ran Sweats Devil, Union Jack, and then somebody that you were leveling, it's pretty solid. For the Generalist, I will go ahead and pull up the Generalist now because we'll level Colleen Wing. I like Nurkod and Classy Rogue a lot for this one. And honestly, it's kind of hard to find a bad Generalist for this. I think Colleen will eventually be really, really good for this, but Moon Knight's really good with the bleeds, but of course he's very unpredictable in what he switches to. You may get him as a scrapper in this round here, and he obliterates the hood, but, you know, very, very unpredictable. Punisher can class switch, so I mean, generalists really are not too bad. Infiltrators, I would say Satana, due to the buffs that she provides to her team. Spiral, because she can go ahead and heal people along with a D-power, so if you get in trouble, Spiral is very, very good if you have her ISO that lets you use all of the dances whenever you want. Generalists are also pretty good because they can clear their debuffs at 15. So any level 15 carry that you have is probably going to be able to clear their debuff, which is really nice. So again, back to the infiltrators. Hogun is phenomenal, especially if you have his ISOs. The ISOs that allow you to go ahead and do the flanked and fumbling every single round, and it's up from the beginning. He just becomes, you know, an absolute murder machine. Chanty's pretty good simply due to the fact that she can kind of control the battlefield with the mind control and whatnot. And again, Invisible Woman with the air pressure ISO, just going ahead and keeping you going. So Colleen, of course, she heals herself, which gives her a lot of sustain. In this, she can remove buffs from people, so I think a level 15 Colleen will eventually be a definite carry over here. Plus, you have these interrupts and everything like this. Colleen is... yeah, she's definitely going to do a lot of work. Now, you have to remember that when you're thinking about carries for these... good God, she's doing a ton of work. When you think about carries for these sims, don't just think about, you know, the hero's default class. Remember that some people can switch. There's nothing stopping you from bringing Quicksilver to the Generalist sim. But the ones that I listed pretty much, I think, are just some of the best in the business here. Yeah, Elektra, in the Generalist sim, Elektra actually can be pretty bad. She tends to dodge a lot of attacks. And dealing with the internal bleeding, not even a Generalist is going to stop that. Because it is a border debuff, so the best way to go for that is to just hope you can heal through it. But she is absolutely obnoxious as hell in the Generalist sim. If they put her in the Tactician sim, she would be a force to be reckoned with. So as you can see here, we're now going to be dealing with a ton of internal bleeding. The good thing is that Rogue at least can certainly heal her way through that. But I mean, look at Elektra go. She is so obnoxious. And I mean, look at, she has literally dodged everything that I've put on her so far. Elektra definitely represents a powerful force here in the Generalist sim. Fortunately, you know, Waterlog will hurt. Now, let's see what we can do over here. So, again, she pre-counters. This time we've hit her. I could see that she went up to 3, so I know I've hit her this time. But, as you can see, I've got some trouble over here. And this is pretty much due only to Elektra. I've gone the entire sim in really good shape. And it's just been her. And that bleeding is bad. We've just got to get the big hits on her and hope to kill her before the bleeds become a problem, which we should be okay now. That might have actually been... oh, is she going to dodge it? Ah, she's going to dodge it. God. See, you know, Colleen's pretty good in the fact that she can help maybe shut down the pre-counters if she actually hits her, but there you go. There's the problem with Electra. So you've seen me go through the Generalist sim, you've seen me go through the Tactician sim. Honestly, I would say that the Blaster and the Tactician sims are my favorite. Now, don't forget, if you get a set of people that you don't like, just back out. You know, like here, Lizard, A-Bomb, no sir. Not gonna take on those guys. This one is usually pretty good, except for the fact that every now and then Sabin goes batshit. So let's take a look at some carries in the Blaster sim. Hybrid, of course, you know, he counts for a lot of these. So we're going to bring in Misty Knight. She's got the Generalized. And, you know, as you can see here, Beta Ray Bill is very good for this one because he's got Blaster on the Bruiser. He's got Bruiser on the Scrapper. So we can bring him in. Now let's see if I actually have any Blasters that I'm leveling currently. We could do Quicksilver. Scarlet Witch deserves a little bit of an honorable mention thanks to her Chaos Shield. And of course Vision's very good because he could go Infiltrator to work on the Tacticians when they show up. So we'll run this. Misty will be getting some benefit, and so will Domino. Hopefully Beta Ray Bill dominates the field and gets a ton of buffs in the first round. He should hopefully be able to chew up this first round over here. So Domino takes a big hit, and we can activate some abilities over here. Since I'll go for Sabin first, I'll activate Blaster and then get Bruiser off of him. And we'll hit him with Stormbreaker to get the cover. Now, occasionally, Sabin will go just absolutely apeshit and really rank his power up super fast and just do a ton of damage. I have had him obliterate my leveling Blasters sometimes. And as you can see, Domino is in some serious trouble at this point. Because he's getting extra turns, and good God. But Domino's actually really working him over pretty nicely. So we're going to go ahead and do Around the World. Get some buffs going over here. Now, what's cool about Misty is that she can shield herself and reduce the damage coming in. The Generalized, among other things, it's also an off balance. And with the fumbling over here, she is also pretty good because then you can get people counterattacking and hopefully applying very necessary debuffs and whatnot. So we've got the covered. Let's get the shield. Take out Sabin. Nice Thunder Rolls proc over with his ISO. This is the first time I've actually really used Beta Ray Bill as a carry. But just seeing what I had in the first round, I knew that he'd be good for this. So we're not too good here in this round. Toad, of course, is obnoxious as hell. Fortunately, we don't suffer any particular disadvantage to him. Sadly, we have a little bit of an issue over here in that Magneto goes before we can generalize him. So Magneto might have his way with us over here. So fortunately, Beta Ray Bill steps up. We get hit with the heavy metal, which hopefully won't be a stun. We get a miss. Alright, so he's got the shield up. Now, Domino's also pretty good because of the fact that she's got the disadvantage. But we can't exhaust him. And there, that pre-counter. So now that he's generalized, he's shut down. We can do the shield. And we can do absolutely nothing at this point. Just due to the stamina. I like her missiles. Her missiles are pretty good. And definitely are a lot of fun in these. Especially if you can set up a counter like that due to fumbling. So, we're not out of the woods yet, as you can imagine. Magneto is still shielded. Fortunately, we are surviving over here. So, I'm going to generalize him again. And we've got to rest. Beta Ray Bill's got to do a lot of work here at this point. Hit him with the Thunderstruck. Hopefully we get a follow-up. Unfortunately we don't. Alright, so what are we going to do to him here? Misty will shield. Let's set him up with that. Hopefully Beta Ray Bill's... Magneto's gonna get an extra turn here. As the shield pops. Ooh! Ooh, he shielded himself again. And we have to take the stuns. So as you can see here, sometimes these sims don't play around. And it's not always just a matter of shutting down the counter class. Sustain is really, really good too. If you have some kind of heal that you can bring in, or debuff removal. But, you know, I mean, that wasn't too bad of a sim over here. Domino is just, she's really weak for me, and she really cost that. If that was Invisible Woman, we might be in good shape. So, there's my video on who I like for The Sims. I hope you guys find it informative, and if I haven't mentioned somebody that you think is really, really good and I overlooked them, then go ahead and let me know down in the comments. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you later.